Okay. Here we look for any terms with y squared. We start with that. There's only one. So if we're going to simplify this expression, we're looking for terms that are like. Y squared is the only y squared term, so we leave it like that. Then I'd probably look for other y's. Are there any more y's? Yes, there's one more here, and it comes over here. Minus 2y. And that's the only place there's another y. So after y squared, I'd put minus 2y. And the order doesn't matter here. You could have left minus 2y at the end. That doesn't matter. Then I'd start looking for x squared terms. I can see that there's 3x squared here. Notice there's a plus sign in the front, so that means plus 3. And I've got a plus sign in front of my 2x squared here. So I have 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have plus 5 x squareds. Now I finished my x squared terms, I finished my y squared terms, I finished my y. What else is there? Well, now there's x's to look at. There is a plus 1x here, and there's a minus 3x there. And 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So my answer will be minus 2 lots of x. Okay? If I have 1x here, but I've promised 2 of them to Emily, I want to take away 3 of them. How many am I going to have left? I'm going to have minus 2 left. I actually haven't got 3 away, so I'm minus 2. Okay? Important that you understand how to do when you've got plus and minus. The easiest way to think here when you've got different signs, 3 minus 1 is 2, we know that. So do it the other way around. If you have minus 3 plus 1, think of doing 3 minus 1 instead, because that's really easy, isn't it? Take the small number away from the large number. So do 3 minus 1, you know that equals 2. But because you've got a minus number in front of the big number, you have a minus number in front of the answer. So minus 3 plus 1 will give you the answer minus 2. So amazing, yeah. Then we have, the only other one we have left then is minus 4. So we get quite a long answer as well, but we have managed to simplify it. So we have y squared minus 2y plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 4. It doesn't matter which order these are in. What matters is that you've got the right sign in front of the right letter and the right number. So somewhere in your string it has to have minus 2y. Somewhere in your string it has to have plus 5x squared. And somewhere in your string it has to have minus 2x. Okay, that's that one. Let's take the next one. We have a 4x squared minus 2x plus a 4 plus a 3x plus 15 minus x squared. First thing we're looking for is x squared terms. They're the highest order. We always try and find the x squareds first, or if there's x cubes, we look for those first. So we start off with saying we've got 4x squared here, and we have to take away an x squared. That will give us 4 minus 1, giving us, whoops, wrong colour, 3x squared. Okay, now I'm looking for x's. I have a minus 2x here, and I have a plus 3 here. 3 minus 2 is 1, so that's nice and easy. It just gives us plus x. Now we finish those terms, and the only ones we've got left now are our number terms. We have 4 here, and we have 15 here, and they're both positives in front. 4 plus 15 is 19. So that's how we do that one. Okay, let's take the next one. Now we have to expand brackets and show that we're very familiar with how we do that. We have a 4x outside the front, and the term that's outside the front of the brackets must be multiplied by everything inside the brackets. So the first thing we do is we multiply 4x by plus 1. That's nice and easy because 4x times 1 will give us 4x. Now we've multiplied the 4x by 1, we can forget that. We have to now multiply the 4x by this whole term. And it's not just an x, it's a minus x. So 4x times minus x, and minus times a plus is going to give us a minus in the answer. And 4x times x is going to give us 4x squared. 4x times x gives us two lots of the same thing, so in maths terms we write it as 4x squared. Those are the same things, okay? And there's a minus sign in front. So that's what we would get there. And you can have it in a different order. Usually because we put x squareds first, you might prefer to put minus 4x squared plus 4x. But usually when there's a minus sign here, we'll put the one with a positive sign first. But it doesn't matter which way you put it around. Okay, that's that one. Then if we take the next one, I'm being a bit sneaky here, I'm putting minus outside the front of the brackets. Minus 3x times 4 minus 2x in brackets. Same rule, you take what's outside and multiply it by the first number in the bracket, and then you take it and multiply it by the second number in the bracket. So we would get, first of all, minus 3x times 4. Well, minus 3 times plus 4 would give us minus 12. 3 4s are 12. And there's no x here, so our answer will just be minus 12x. Now I've done that term, I now have to multiply minus 3x times minus 2x. A minus times a minus will give us a plus. So the first thing we do is we look at our sign change, okay? Minus times a minus is always a plus. 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. So this one I would like to rearrange because I'd like my plus. This is the higher order of x, it should be first, and it's plus. So it would be nice if you'd rewritten it as 6x squared minus 12x. It isn't essential, but mathematically this is a neater way of putting it. So you have to have either of those two answers. That's that one. And now, just to make sure that you've really understood the system and how it works, I actually put 3x squared outside the front of the bracket. And we're multiplying it by 2x squared. Sorry, I've written it wrong here. 2x squared outside the front of the bracket. And then I have x minus 1. Yes? Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Same rule. The first thing we do is multiply this term by the x, step 1, and step 2, we multiply this term outside the front by minus 1. Exactly the same procedure. 2x squared multiplied by x. Well, 2 times 1, there's an invisible 1 in front of that, is just 2. X squared times x. Well, x squared times x is the same as x times x times x, which is the same as x cubed. 3 lots of x's multiplied by each other. So we get 2x cubed, and now we just have minus 1 times 2x squared. That's going to give us a minus times a plus is a minus. 1 times 2x squared is just going to be 2x squared. So that's what that one's going to look like when it's expanded out. Okay, and now we've got factorizing and simplifying. If I was to give you an equation that looked like this, plus 6x divided by 9x. You take whatever you can on the top row outside of the bracket. So what is common in here? Well, there's an x term here and there's an x squared here. That means both of them have at least one x. So we could take that out the front. Here's a 3 and here's a 6. So it means we can take a 3 outside of the front as well. So if we were to rearrange this top line to 3x bracket. 3x times what will give me 3x squared? Well, 3x times x would give me 3x squared. Plus 3x times what would give me 6x? Well, 3x times 2 would give me 6x. So if I was to expand this bracket again, I'd get exactly what I've got on the top line. 3x times x would give me 3x squared. And 3x times plus 2 would give me plus 6x. So that's the top line expanded. What do I do with the bottom line? Well, nothing. I just write it underneath. Now I can see that I have x divided by x, which cancels, and 3 divided by 9, which turns into 1/3. So my answer ends up being simplified as what's in the bracket, x plus 2, all divided by 3. And you have to agree that this expression here looks a lot simpler than that one. And that's why this factorizing and simplifying technique is so extremely useful. And the last one, so that should be the answer, x plus 2 divided by 3. And the last one is 4a squared minus 2a squared, all divided by 6a. If you find it easier, you can just do the top line by itself first and the bottom line, add that later. So let's think about how we could simplify 4a squared minus 2a squared. Well, we can see we've got, both of them have a 2 here, so that would be the first thing I would take outside the front. And both of these expressions actually have an a squared in. So that's the other thing that I would take outside the front. So you're looking for things that are common in both of these expressions. And then you're going to say, right, now I'm going to turn it back into 4a squared. How can I do that? 4a squared will be turned back into, 2a squared will be turned back into 4a squared if I just multiply this by 2. 2a squared times 2 gives me the 4a squared that I had over here. I now have to take the next term and turn this one back into minus 2a squared. If I multiplied that by minus 1, I would get minus 2a squared here. Minus 1 times 2a squared would give me minus 2a squared. Now it's really easy because I've got 2 minus 1, okay, which is 1. So the whole of this expression is going to simplify to 2a squared. But you could have seen that anyway, because 4a squared minus 2a squared is 2a squared. So in this particular one, you didn't even need to put the brackets in, because you could have just seen it here. 4a squared minus 2a squared is 2a squared. Okay, so we know that this top one now simplifies to 2a, and the bottom one stayed the same as being 6a. 2a squared, sorry. So now we can simplify that 2 divided by 6 is 3. A squared divided by a is a. So we get a over 3. Why is a squared divided by a? Because a squared actually means a times a divided by a. A divided by a equals 1, so we end up with a. So a squared divided by a is actually that, which ends up being a.